good afternoon. This is Rich, Tennessee Homestead. How the heck are you today? Uh, yeah, I just put up a video, probably one up today. So I thought I'd make another one that wasn't so doom and gloom. I hate those, but I monitor this stuff pretty closely, and as I learn these things, I try to share them with you so that at least you can see, and hopefully, you know, hopefully, you know, it doesn't turn out to be as bad as it looks. But at least you're aware. Okay. I always say, you prepare for the worst and then pray for the best, and hopefully, then it works out for you. That's what you folks need to take it with. Prepare if things are headed in a bad direction, and then pray you don't need that. Instead, that you just have a little bit more bountiful life. Good food is always a good thing. Being self sufficient is a good thing. Okay. Know that if you lose power through natural reasons, or, so forth, or just save money. Say, hey, we want to buy a new sofa, and to do that, would need to cut our utilities dramatically for a few months. Fire up the kerosene lights and the wood stove, and go. Yeah, we're gonna go off grid for a bit and save some money. Things of that nature, so that you can pay cash for that new sofa and not have to finance it or put it on a credit card. Okay, so there's a lot of reasons for being self-sufficient other than the end of the world. Yeah, a lot of times it's just good common sense. You take, if you're living in the suburbs and so forth, and you're buying your food even at a farmer's market, not a lot of meat is available at farmers markets. And that is primarily because of all the different rules and regulations that are thrown down there that makes it very difficult for a farmer to do grass feed a cow, have it butchered, and then sell it to you. Okay? They're liable to have a SWAT team show up at their door. So that's not something that a lot of farms market. There are a few, but they're few and far between. So if you develop yourself a homestead to where even you can go out, because I'll tell you honestly, you can go and buy a just weaned calf, especially some not so great mixed breed, like something that's mixed with a Jersey or something of this nature. And there's nothing wrong with that, because let me tell you a secret. You don't get as much meat out of a Jersey cow. Okay? A lot of bone. But that makes good beef stock, by the way. But, as far as the flavor of the meat, and it's right up there at the top of the list for flavorful beef. So, good thing. If you've got enough acreage to where even if you can just have one or two cows out there, I always recommend two. They're a herd animal. They need the companionship. All right. But if you can do that, put a cow out there, raise it up from a calf. You can right now, especially, calves are selling cheap at auction. All right. I mean, where else could you, if you're planning in advance a little bit, where else could you pick up? Because a friend of mine was telling me of a recent auction down in Mississippi where they were selling calves, weaned calves, for $125. Now, they were Jersey mix, but $125. Okay. If you got enough pasture, that's pretty much your, cow's going to eat just about free. Okay. You might have to buy some hay through his first winter, but it's pretty much going to eat free. So you go down early spring, buy a $125 calf, throw him out in the pasture, let him graze, throw a little hay to him in the winter, let him graze the next spring, and then send him off the following fall, to be processed. Well, you've got several hundred pounds Okay, probably in the neighborhood of 300 pounds worth of beef in your freezer. Okay, for not much more than maybe 150 bucks, 200 tops. All right, and it is better beef for you. Okay, and just a win-win. So if you don't need that to survive, you'd want to eat it anyway because one, it's going to taste really different than what you buy in the stores. Okay, when you buy a pound of hamburger out of a store, throw it in your skillet, and the thing shrinks down to, I don't know how many of you are familiar with White Castles, but they little bitty, little bitty boogers. Uh, that's what happens to the average hamburger when you go to cook it. It's all water and fat. It just disappears in your skillet. You get a regular grass-fed beef, the hamburger that's going to come out of that cow, you're going to find, number one, it doesn't cook away in the pan. It smells a little different. It smells really beefy, you know. and as far as the taste, uh, let me tell you something. There's just no comparison. There's no comparison. This is a very flavorful burger. I mean, they're great. Same thing with your steaks and your ribs and so on and so on and so on. Um, so you'd want to get to where you're a little bit more self-sufficient. If nothing else, raise yourself some pigs, raise yourself a cow, and chickens and so forth. And speaking of chickens, I got a garage full of them right now. They're all coming in to say howdy and to see what they can get into. Uh, Although I can't complain too much. I had there at the door, uh, some ants had set up a colony. That was the biggest mistake of their lives. When it turned a little warmer and they came out of the ground and started running around, these chickens had a feast. I mean, a feast. They were all out there just going great guns. And I don't have any more ants anymore. I mean, they cleaned the colony out. So they have their place. And so they come into the garage when I'm in here, and they check every nook, cranny, you know, tear stuff up, you name it. They jump up on shelves and knock stuff off, and they're kind of a pain. But I also know that they've cleaned out a lot of spiders and bugs, and they do their thing. That's the reason they like coming in here. It's like, ooh, we know the bugs are hiding in there because they free range. And that's something else. When you free range chickens, your feed costs on them go way down, way down. So you want these chickens out doing their thing. You will notice that in the wintertime, the yolks get a little more yellow because they're primarily living off of feed. You let springtime roll around, they start getting the bugs and all that sort of stuff. Man, those yolks just turn orange. You know, the quality of the egg is it's good for you. Store bought eggs, if you take a look at most medical reports, are not good for you. Uh, Free range chickens, they're good for you. Different cholesterols. So yeah, so there's a quality of life that homesteading can bring to you. You know, you know what's in your food, so it's not that big of a deal. Come on now, really? Are we getting inside the cabinet now? If I hear her clucking and laying an egg, I'm gonna ring her little neck. Chickens. Try to scare them out with her. That worked. Yeah, bacon worked. Chicken, they are entertaining too. You can cut down on your entertainment expense after to go rent movies. Just go out and watch chickens. Uh, Crazy birds. So there's a lot to being prepared and having a more self-sufficient life. Uh, it's not a bed of roses. Okay, really, it gets interesting. Sometimes it gets really hard. Sometimes things go totally wrong. Okay. But it's all part of it. And, you just got to weather the storm. And if you can weather the storms, you're okay. You know, if you're pretty thin skinned and you just not willing to stick to it, then it's going to go south on you. I don't know what to tell you. Um, you got to roll up your sleeves and sit back and go, I've just, it's tough right now, but it's going to get better. And at the end of it all, it'll be good. All right. So if you have that kind of a mindset, you'll do fine. I see so many young people out here today talking about homesteading, but yet they keep talking about, they're waiting for everything to be perfect, and you can't. You're running out of time, folks. You're running out of time. There's powers that be out there that are working against you. And if you're self sufficient, when they pull the trigger on their little plans, you're going to be okay. All right? Life's not going to be perfect. Things are going to be tough, but you're going to be okay. Your family will be able to feed itself and live and be self sufficient as best as you can. There's going to be things you'll be doing without, but you'll still be out there surviving. And when they pull the trigger on this, it's not going to be that for a lot of people. And it's done like that by design. They want to reduce our population a lot. Okay. So keep it in mind. Um, you know, I sit and I listen to the young people talk, but yet I look at what they got going on, and they're living in suburbia. They're in a nice home. They're driving new cars. They've got their big screen on in the background, and they've got all the little conveniences, and this and that, and it's like, look at what you're doing, and tell me again that this is what you want, because your lifestyle isn't backing it up. You don't have the money to do these things if you want to get out on your own and homestead. You need to get down to minimal lifestyle in that suburb. Cut it back. Get rid of the cars. Buy some old ones. Get rid of the TV. Your kids will do a lot better. Okay? Less TV. Good thing. Now, that's firsthand experience. You want your kids to read books. You want your kids to play together. You want your kids to play games. You want kids to spend time with you. Take that big box and get rid of it. It's nothing but a propaganda tool. And your family first will scream bloody murder, but they will make the adjustment. And they'll be better people because they did. Yeah. Talk to people who have taken those things out of their homes. All right. You will soon see. You can keep a TV for movie night, but not have it hooked up to where you can get channels. Don't have cable, things of this nature. Have it hooked up to, a DVD player and watch movies, and make it a special thing. Okay. All these things you can do to save money and to move you closer to that homestead. For heaven's sakes, folks, you don't have forever. You really don't. And the faster you get moving, the better off your family is going to be. And if, hopefully, none of these things transpire, they are all conspiracy theories. My guess is no, they're not. Too much of it has become documented. Too much of it is becoming more and more exposed as the plan moves farther along. You got a world of hurt coming at you. Be ready for it. Living life as usual is what they are counting on, folks. They really are. Keeping you right where you're at, wrapped up in their system. Okay? So that they know where you're at when the time comes to deal with it. And you will I want you to think for 30 seconds, you guys. What would happen if you went to the grocery store and there was no food to buy? How many days worth of food do you have stockpiled in your home? Average family in America, 3, 4 days maybe. Think about that. What happens if? What are you doing, if you lose electricity? I mean, lose it. Solar flare, whatever. Could take down the electric grid. What happens when that stuff goes off? You're going to be looking at that big expensive TV and a DVR player and the Xboxes and all that kind of stuff and go, boy, that was really, truly a waste of money. Because these things are now paperweights. That's all they are. And as life becomes tougher, you understand that you have spent a lot of your money, a lot of your earnings have been spent on things that will not profit your family one iota. Something to think about, isn't it? This is what I want you to think on, folks. You want to be a homesteader? You're going to have to make that change in life now to accomplish that. Right now. No more, head off to the restaurants once or twice a week. Really get out of them grocery stores. They're poisoning you and they're deteriorating your health. Get out of them. Get rid of the TVs. Get rid of the little electronic entertainment gadgets. Because if this empire we call America follows suit with what it's doing today, it's not the first empire to go the way of the dinosaur. A lot have gone before us. But they all seem to follow the same thing. And let me clue you in on something. Entertainment is one of the things that they push. Get you sitting in front of that little screen. Much like the Romans sat at the Colosseum. Forgetting about your problems. Not paying attention to what your government's doing. Okay? That's how they get you. Morality begins to wane in these empires. Anything goes. That's the beginning signs of the collapse. Look around you. If you turn to the Word of God, you'll see that it's coming at you. Is this the end of the world? Is this the last days? And so forth? Probably not. There's been empires come and go since the dawning of this planet. We may just be another one. But wake up. There's always been the survivors. And those have been the ones who prepared and planned and had the capability and ability to fend for themselves. If you were living in Rome when the barbarians showed up at the gate, you didn't do too well. Okay? If you were way out in the countryside taking care of yourself, you were no threat to the barbarians and they didn't mess with you. Keep that in mind. This is Rich Tennessee Homestead. I'm going to do a couple of videos of just stuff that I've been watching and it concerns me. And while I'm sitting here having coffee doing nothing, goofing off, I'm going to talk to you about it. You folks have a great week. And we're going to have a string of videos that are going to cover some of these topics for you. Hope you pay attention. It's important. Folks, have a good day.